This has been a hard-fought race. I know some say these primaries have somehow left the Democratic Party more divided. Well, they said that 8 years ago as well. But just like 8 years ago, there are millions of Americans, not just Democrats, who've cast their ballots for the very first time. And a lot of that is thanks to Senator Bernie Sanders, who has run an incredible campaign. I had a great meeting with him this week, and I thanked him for shining a spotlight on issues like economic inequality and the outsized influence of money in our politics, and bringing young people into the process. Embracing that.
President Obama, part of his video endorsement of Hillary Clinton, Obama emphasized the role Bernie Sanders had in the Democratic race. Sanders met Thursday with Obama and Democratic leaders on the Hill. And joining me now, CBSN political contributor and Republican strategist Leslie Sanchez, and Lis Smith, Democratic strategist and former deputy campaign manager for Martin O'Malley. Ladies, let's get started. So much to talk about. Liz, let's start with you. We just heard President Obama. They're offering really just high praise. Nancy Cortez called it in her piece a love letter. It was really a love letter, right, to Hillary Clinton. His endorsement was. What are the optics here behind this endorsement?
Well, first of all, I think a lot of Democrats today are breathing a big sigh of relief. We were here last week talking about how there could be chaos at the convention. And I think everyone is pretty surprised at how quickly Democrats are coming together after a fairly contentious primary. But that being said, I mean, look, we've seen a very delicate dance the last few weeks on the part of the Clinton campaign and her supporters, trying to pivot to the general election while also paying respect to Senator Sanders. And I think President Obama executed pretty well today. He showed a lot of respect to Senator Sanders by having him in the Oval Office, then did deliver this love letter to Secretary Clinton. But he also was had a lot of kind words for Senator Sanders, and embraced the issues that Senator Sanders brought to the table, and appreciated the enthusiasm that he brought. So I thought all in all that he executed very well, and Democrats should be feeling pretty good about where we are today.
So, Leslie, Senator Susan Collins, who is a Republican, told the New Yorker Thursday that she is open to supporting Hillary Clinton over Donald Trump. What do you make of that?
It's unusual. It certainly is unusual. It's not what you want to hear. I think a lot of conservatives are going to say she's a moderate. She already has a longstanding friendship with Hillary Clinton, and is looking more at that than party loyalty. And she has every reason to, because in her statement, she said, "I am not pleased with the statements Donald Trump has made against women, Latinos, Muslims. His tone, he hasn't changed it." And here's the challenge. Donald Trump has been given numerous signals from the establishment, so-called, from leadership, party leaders, and certainly within his organization, to try to tap that down and bring people together. And we've yet to see that. We're just starting to see these nascent kind of communications coming out, this beginning of an infrastructure that looks like a national campaign. And I think it's a very fair warning that she could go either way. In very many ways, the way Speaker Ryan held off his endorsement until he could have some communications, we just saw how that kind of turned around and blew up in his face. I think she's taking a much more cautious approach, as the same way as New Mexico Governor Susana Martinez, who stepped back, didn't do the immediate thing, and she was attacked right away for doing so. So I think they're looking out for their own interest.
Yeah, I agree. I do kind of see it more as a warning shot than anything else. And, it's been a quiet few days for Donald Trump, which I think is a good thing for Republicans. And I think she's just trying to say, and she's playing good politics for herself. And I think she's just trying to say, hey, chill out on the offensive language, and you have to earn, my support and the support of people like Governor Martinez.
It might have been quiet for Donald Trump, but others are speaking up. Let's talk about David Duke, Leslie, okay? Because former KKK Grand Wizard David Duke, he's making news defending Trump over Trump's comments about Judge Curiel's ethnicity. He blamed the, quote, Jews in media for a negative agenda against Donald Trump. What do you make of that?
I think he's irrelevant to the Republican conversation. We've admonished him, moved him away, even when I was at the Republican National Committee, but a million years ago. Anything that he wanted to do, aligning himself with the Republican Party, was not welcome. And as a matter of fact, it was just repudiated. So he doesn't speak for anyone in our party. And he can say it's a free country. I think that's the value of it. He can say whatever he likes.
But, didn't Donald Trump have some criticism criticism levied his way because he was not so quick, or as quick as some would have liked, to distance himself from David Duke.
That was the original criticism, and there were robocalls, if we think about in Iowa, among some of these KKK groups and some of these others who were saying go for Trump and kind of pro-endorsement, and he did not tap that down. This is a very serious line of, if this becomes a race war, like we've talked about, and it's kind of the mother's milk of the Democratic Party, and not about ideals, solutions, and bringing America together, then Republicans lose. As a matter of fact, the entire country loses. So we really, I think, on the right and the left and in the middle are looking for leadership to really, on both sides, say there's just not any tolerance.
But I do think there's been this troubling rise in anti-Semitism during this campaign, and it's really been surprising to me. And I think it's incumbent upon Donald Trump. Look, he's not responsible for everything David Duke says, and I completely agree with you on that. But I think, needs to be very forceful in condemning this type of language and be more forceful than he has in the past.
You think he needs to condemn these latest remarks?
No, look, I don't think he's responsible for all of it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I don't think he needs to respond to everything David Duke does. But every now and then we do see Trump supporters popping up and saying completely unacceptable and disgusting things. And I think Trump needs to be more forceful going forward than he has sometimes in the past.
I think there's a parallel with the white supremacists that are coming out and saying they go into campaign headquarters as a friendly face. You're welcome in the Trump campaign headquarters, which is what we heard that frightened a lot of people in the Republican primary, in the same tone that you did not see Bernie Sanders step up right away when there was violence in Nevada and anywhere along the campaign trail. I think both sides have a very serious responsibility to basically say that's not going to be part of this system.
Liz, I want to ask about Elizabeth Warren.
Mm-hmm.
We heard her there blast Donald Trump. I mean, I lost track of the number of insults that she lobbed, but some of them she called him a small, thin-skinned, wannabe tyrant. She said he was a loudmouth fraud. She defended Judge Curiel. What role do you see her playing here? We're expecting she's going to be endorsing Hillary Clinton here. What do you make of her as potentially someone either as a VP candidate or someone who can be an effective surrogate for the campaign?
Look, I know a lot of people have floated her name as a potential VP. There is kind of a long-standing animosity between Elizabeth Warren and the Clintons, so I'd be skeptical if they picked her. I think she could be a really good choice. She's one of the best campaigners we have on our side. She's someone who can go to both red states and blue states because her message of tapping into the anger toward Wall Street and just the general feeling of economic populism right now is unmatched. So we really need her passion, and whatever role she can play in 2016, Democrats are blessed to have her voice out there.
Yeah. All right. Lis Smith, Leslie Sanchez. Ladies, thank you both so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.